Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. Your girl has officially been a mom for a whole month, y'all. Like, I can't even believe the month has already flown by, but it has already been a month. And I wanted to come on here and to give you guys a couple of tips that I have learned in this past month that I thought would be beneficial to anybody who is on the way to motherhood, who is currently expecting, who is a first-time mom, and probably you're on the first day and you're like, what have I just gotten into? If you are interested in hearing some of those tips, go ahead and stay tuned and let's go ahead and get started. You ready, boo? Number one, the first tip that I would say to anybody before you even become a mom, don't let anybody scare you about the whole motherhood journey. I cannot tell you how many people came to me and gave me their opinion on what they thought this whole motherhood journey was going to be like. I had people coming to me and saying, oh, are you sure that you're ready for what you signed up for? Oh, you don't even know. Okay. You good, babe? I cannot begin to tell you the amount of people that I had come to me telling me all types of crazy stuff about this whole journey of motherhood and what to expect, and that I didn't know what I was signing up for, or people telling me, oh, you don't even know, you're not even going to be able to spend time with your man no more, or people telling me, you know, you're never going to be able to sleep ever again, oh, your life is going to completely change, this is going to be the worst and best experience of your life. Like, I had so many people telling me things in my ears, and it literally scared me half to death about this whole motherhood journey, because I was like, yo, what did I just sign up for? Like, I don't even know what I'm about to walk into. But let me be the first to tell you, although motherhood, yes, is challenging, it really is not like, it's like you looking over the edge and you're about to jump and you're like psyching yourself out before you even jump, and then you jump and you're like, oh my God, this is so exhilarating. That's literally what it's like. You're looking at the edge and you're about to walk into motherhood, and everybody is telling you how hard this journey is about to be. And then you get in the journey, and although it is challenging, although it is a little bit hard, it's not as detrimental as people are making it out to seem. It is a beautiful journey, a beautiful experience, and I'm only a month in, but every single day, it never ceases to amaze me on how amazing this journey actually is. So don't let nobody scare you, okay? Number two, the second tip is surround yourself with an amazing village. Surround yourself with people who you can trust, who you can call on, who will support you, who will be there when you need them. That, to me, is like the most valuable thing that I could say before anything else. I think this motherhood journey is what it is because I have a solid group of people around me who truly just want to help, who truly want to like give me the opportunity to get a break. I can't tell you how many times my mom has saved me, how many times my sister has saved me, and just honestly given me a second to just regroup. You know, as a new first-time mom, like, you have a newborn, you come home with, there's no handbook on how to be a mom. There's no rule book on how to be a mom. And so a lot of the times you're figuring this whole thing out, and you have a newborn who's screaming at you. You have fatigue who wants to creep in. You are on a new schedule and you don't really know what to do. But as long as you have a support system around you who is there to encourage you, who is there to support you, and who is there to give you a helping hand, that is like, it's golden. It literally is golden. And so if you can, before you even go into the start this journey, before you even go into labor and have a newborn child, figure out who your village actually is and who you trust on this new journey, and who can help you figure out what it is that you need to do, or it's just someone that is going to help you figure out this whole new journey of motherhood. It's challenging, it is tough, but you need a solid village around you who's just going to support you and give you a break whenever you need it. Like, you need it. And I am very much a person like, I got it. But baby, that I got it gets real still, real old, real quick. I had a conversation with my mom before I even went into labor. I told her I am very much the type of person, I am very much the type of person that does not ask for help. So if you are that type of person and you're not the person that would go out and ask people for help, tell your village before you even go into labor and before you even bring your baby home. Tell your village that, like, listen, I'm not normally a person that asks for help. So if I do not ask for help, or if you see that I need help, just come and take the baby. Or, you know, if you see that I'm exhausted or something's, you know, I'm frustrated or something like that, like, don't even ask me. Just come. Hey, can I grab the baby for a second? Can I hang out with her? And just do that for me, or initiate that for me, because I won't initiate it for myself. Number 3, the third tip that I would give: sleep when the baby sleeps. I know that it is super, super, super cliche. I know people say it all the time. I know that you hear it all the time, but I cannot say it enough. Sleep when the baby sleeps, because what happens is, if you don't sleep when the baby sleeps, you end up getting exhausted. You get tired, of course, but you get frustrated as well. And dealing with the newborn baby who is crying all the time, who you haven't figured out why they're crying, you haven't figured out their cues, you haven't figured out what it is that they're yelling about, that type of stuff can cause somebody to be frustrated, can cause somebody to go insane. And if you can't figure out a moment to just get some rest, it literally will drive you insane. The first thing that somebody loses is their mind. And if you lose your mind, everything else is going to go haywire. So I always say, like, for myself, if Elsie falls asleep at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I know that she's going to sleep until 9 o'clock, when Elsie falls asleep at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm falling asleep at 7 o'clock in the morning as well. I choose at least 2 times during the day. I definitely say, hey girl. I definitely say for you to fall asleep when the baby falls asleep, and make sure you get as much rest as possible, because you are going to need it. Tip number 4. When you come home with a new baby, or when you give birth, I have my baby at home, but when you give birth and everybody is around you, your village is around you, everybody is going to want to hold your baby. Your key village, the people that you trust the most, they're going to want to spend time with the baby. They're going to want to hold the baby. They're going to want to, you know, hang out and all of that stuff. Let them. This goes hand in hand with you getting your rest. I at first was like, this is my baby, I want to hold my baby, you know, like, I'm obsessed with her, I want to hang out with her, and everybody just keeps taking the baby from me, blah blah blah. That's, yes, it happens, and people are going to take the baby away from you, but it is so necessary for people to be able to come and take the baby from you and to give you the rest, or give you the opportunity to do something else. Maybe it's the opportunity to eat something. Maybe it's the opportunity to just check your phone. Maybe to respond to some text messages, check social media, watch your favorite TV show, like take a nap. I cannot say it enough. People are going to want to hold your baby. Allow them to. If you have a village of people around you who want to hang out with the baby, use the opportunities, the other opportunities of all the things that you need to do in order to take care of your baby. Give those opportunities to them to be able to help or assist you along the way. For instance, my mom is the one that gives my daughter her baths. So at night when she's getting her bath time, my mom gets to give that to her, and that's the opportunity, that's the moment where my mom gets to spend time with her. My husband is not here, but when my husband is here, he'll probably be the one that does bath time. Or if her diaper needs to be changed, my sister is the one that's going to take diaper changing, and like she gets to hang out with her. She gets to, you know, cuckoo gaga, all that stuff with my daughter in that time. Those are the opportunities that other people get to take, and other people get to spend time with your baby where you are not spending time with your baby. Number 5, okay, tip number 5. Breastfeeding is a natural thing, but it does not come naturally. When I gave birth to my daughter, the night that I gave birth to her, immediately they were trying to show me how to latch her to feed her. And I could not figure out how to get her to latch to my breast in order for me to feed her. And for me, I really, really, really wanted to breastfeed my daughter. I really wanted to connect with her in that way. And I really, really wanted to share that with my daughter. But when I say that breastfeeding is a natural thing, it is a natural thing. Obviously, my body is creating milk naturally in order for me to feed her, and the baby is going to drink that milk. My body already knows what it's supposed to do. So it's not like formula or creating, you know, something in order to feed my baby. However, it's not something that you're automatically going to know how to do. You have to learn how to do it. Mommies who want to breastfeed, do not give up. Do not give up when you see that you can't get your baby to latch. Don't let people convince you that you need nipple shields, because I was being convinced that I needed nipple shields. Like, oh, you can't get her to latch. Oh, she's, you know, your nipples are inverted, or you know, your nipples aren't big enough in order for her to latch on. All of those things were lies until I sat down with my lactation consultant, who was able to encourage me and tell me, girl, you got this. You just need to learn how. Okay. So anybody who wants to breastfeed their child, do not let them convince you that you cannot. Like, even the pediatrician, God bless her heart, was telling me, like, you know, I was saying I'm having a hard time with getting my baby to latch, and she's not the pediatrician is not a lactation consultant, and so she was telling me maybe you should try nipple shields as a suggestion, but I didn't know no better because I had not met with anybody. So I would say to anybody who wants to breastfeed, see if you're most of the time in the hospitals, they do have a lactation consultant come and meet with you to show you how to get your baby to latch. If you have a midwife or a doula, they should have the opportunity to show you how to meet with the lactation consultant as well, for you to learn how to get your baby to latch as well. So please, at least one, because all I did was get one session. I had one hour session. And after I had that 1 hour session, I went home so empowered. And we have been breastfeeding from that moment. As y'all heard, she is sucking for life. So don't let anybody convince you that you can't get your baby to latch, or that you know something is wrong with your breast. Yes, there are situations, you know, and they check for all of that before they even diagnose you. But breastfeeding is not, it's as natural as it is, it's not natural for your body or for you to automatically know how to do. Tip number 6, when you are breastfeeding, make sure that you switch sides. Like, make sure you switch sides when you are breastfeeding. Like, if you are breastfeeding on the right side in this session, the next time she goes to feed or your baby goes to feed again, switch to the left side. If you can't remember, I use this app that was like a baby tracker. I put it in that she was breastfeeding. It would ask me what breast was she breastfeeding off of, and I would put the right side or I would put the left side. So when I went to go feed again, it would say, oh, you breastfed the last time on your right side, now it's time for you to breastfeed on your left side. But I say to switch sides, because if you don't and you continue to feed from the same breast over and over again, then your breast will become engorged, because it's producing more milk, because your baby is drinking from the same side over and over again. So it's telling your body that, hey, the baby is drinking more than it actually is, and so it's producing more milk, especially in those first couple of weeks. That also keeps your breast from being 2 different sizes, or eventually becoming 2 different sizes, because you fed on one side versus feeding on both sides and stuff like that. It keeps your breast even as much as possible. So switch sides, okay? Number 7, make sure you have emergency diapers everywhere, okay? Everywhere. I mean, in your bag, in your car, in your purse, in the baby's bag, in glove compartment. Have emergency diapers everywhere. Just have diapers everywhere, okay? Number 8, if this is your first child, do not buy things in bulk, especially when it comes to wipes or diapers and stuff like that. Buy a box of, like, you know, maybe like I call it a trial box. Buy a box that you can test out the product before you actually buy it in bulk. Unfortunately, the first set of wipes that I used were the Huggies wipes, sensitive wipes. I liked them. It wasn't like I had a problem with them. They were cool. They, you know, they were thick, and she didn't seem to have a problem with them. After I used all of those wipes, I then didn't have any more of those Huggies sensitive wipes, and I was given a box of 1,200 Pampers wipes. While I'm grateful for those 1,200 Pampers wipes, I do not like Pampers wipes whatsoever. And I've learned that, being that I've now used the Pampers wipes because they were given to me as a gift. But unfortunately, I can't change them until all of those 1,200 wipes are used. Okay, so same thing with diapers. I've realized it's something about Pampers. I don't like Pampers diapers. I don't like I don't like Pampers diapers, and I don't like Pampers wipes. I have found that between those two, those are the only two that I've tried thus far. Between those two brands, I like Huggies diapers more than I like Pampers diapers, and I like Huggies wipes more than I like Pampers wipes. So before you buy anything in bulk and you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna get a whole bunch of Huggies wipes, you might not like Huggies wipes. So wait until your baby gets here, get you some sample boxes for you to try them out and see which brand you actually like, and then buy everything in bulk. So tell everybody to get you gift cards for Pampers or diapers or whatever. Number 9, there is this thing that is called DeQuavin's, I don't know what the official name is, but basically it's called Mommy's Thumb. And basically what it is, I have makeup on my hand, but basically what it is the tendons that go down your thumb into your wrist, they become swollen. And because they become swollen, you moving your thumb or doing anything with your thumb becomes so much harder than it actually was before you got pregnant. It causes swelling because of the overuse of your tendons or the overuse of your wrists and hands. So I didn't know that this was something, and I didn't know that it existed, but when I posted about it on social media, it's crazy how many people said that they actually had it and how many other moms actually went through this. But it's real, and it really made, a lot of times for me, it made me even picking up my daughter like so hard. I couldn't even lift her up at times in the middle of the night. Look it up. If you start to see that you're experiencing something like that, just pay attention to it. It's something to look out for. Not everybody gets it, but some people do. And if you do, just know that's what it is. Number 10. I love this thing. It's called a haka. Basically what this is I use this to hand express milk. So I just latch this onto the breast, and then I hand like massage the milk out of my breast, and this catches it in order for me to be able to use the milk, that comes out. Or whenever I'm feeding her, especially in the beginning when my breasts were engorged, I would be feeding her on my right side and my breast would be leaking on the left side. So I would just put this on my breast and it would catch all of the leaking milk so that I can use it for other stuff, whether it be medicinal or whether it be to feed her later on. The milk would be caught in this and I wouldn't lose any milk. Okay, so this is hands down amazing. Also, I use this now whenever I know that I'm about to go out or I have a day where we have to step out and I won't be able to feed her as easily as I would like to. Like, for instance, if we're in the car for a long period of time and I know that she's going to wake up from a feeding, I'll hand express milk before we actually go out. And this holds up to 4 ounces. So I'll hand express like 2.5, 3 ounces of milk and then put this in a bottle so that later on when we're going out, I can just feed that to her when we're out. This is Nature Bond's version. You can get this on Amazon. But if you can invest in one of these, do that, okay? Do that. And a small little tip, sometimes this suction cup comes off of the breast and it could spill everywhere, or your baby can kick it while you're feeding them. So I got a pumping bra, and I just put this through the hole of the pump where the pump comes out. I put this through the hole and I just put the pumping bra around me, and then that held this on so that even if the baby kicked me, this stayed on. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. That number 11, okay? Breast pads. When you give birth to a baby, your breast automatically produces milk, right? If you are breastfeeding. So sometimes you'll be having a full-blown conversation and then all of a sudden your breasts start leaking and it goes through your shirt, and now you got milk everywhere and everybody's looking at your shirt because you got milk stains on your shirt. So breast pads, I had bought the disposable ones. I don't like the disposable ones. There are a couple of brands that carry them. I think it's called Lanisa is one brand, and then Medela is another brand. I bought both of them and I bought them in bulk, 200 each. and I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all. And I got the disposable ones, and they look like this. So they look like the inside cups of your bra, and these are basically like reusable breast pads. So basically I just put this inside of my shirt. It catches the milk on the inside, and then when it's full, you'll know that it's full, and you just squeeze it out, and then you can dry it and use it again and wash it, you know, over and over again. But I find that I like this a lot more because it stays in place more. It kind of duplicates a bra pad, and it's very similar to a bra pad, whereas the ones that are disposable, they fold, you know, when I'm pulling down my bra for me to feed my baby, they fold up with the bra, and then you can't really, like, you know, if my breasts move around, they're so small, so they kind of just get everywhere. Milk ends up spilling out anyway. I just don't like it. I don't like the disposable ones at all. But I have found that I really, really, really like these reusable ones. And I'll put the link at the bottom for where you can get them. But if you can, Amazon sells different versions of them, but the versions that I have comes with 2 pairs. It comes with the 1 pair of the nude ones and a 1 pair of black ones. So I really, really, really like these. So if you can get your hands on them, get your hands on them. Number 12. If you don't have to return to work immediately and you're not pressed to it having an excess amount of milk, do not pump before 6 weeks. The reason being is because in that 6 weeks period, your body is trying to regulate how much milk your baby actually drinks. And so what I thought was beneficial was, oh, you know, if I'm feeding my baby, I'll pump at the same time so that I have an excess amount of milk. So if we're going out and stuff like that, I can have milk with me to be able to give to her. Well, what happened was when I did that, it threw my body off schedule. And so my body started producing more milk than it actually needed. And then I started leaking everywhere. My breasts were huge because they were engorged, and I had so much milk that I was producing so much that the milk was going bad because I had so much milk in the fridge. So if you are not going anywhere, if you don't have to go anywhere within that 6 weeks, don't pump beforehand, because then you're training your body to produce more milk than it actually needs. And then when your baby is not drinking that much milk, your body will not supply it anymore. So try to stay away from pumping as much as possible between that first 6 weeks. And then after the 6 weeks, if you feel like pumping is what you need to do, go ahead and do that. If you don't before the 6 weeks is there, you can hand express, which means basically kind of like milking a cow. But it's basically like massaging the milk out of your breast. You can do that and it still be fine. But if you do pumping, your body will produce more milk than it actually needs, and then your breast becomes engorged, and then your baby starts choking off of the milk because they can't regulate the amount of milk that's coming out of your breast. Is too much for them. And so it's just a big mess. But if you can avoid it, avoid it. To each his own for everybody. If you're returning back to work, that might be something different for you. But for me, I wasn't going anywhere, and it was too much. So I would recommend not pumping before that 6 weeks, and just holding out until later on so that you don't have to deal with that mess, because it is a mess. Tip number 13. When you are feeding your baby, really, really, really good tip that I learned for my daughter to help when transitioning her from in my arms to on the bed or in her bassinet. What I would do is I would start with feeding her without anything on. Babies fall asleep halfway through you feeding them, right? Like, they get comfortable. If you have them swaddled immediately, they're comfortable, they're warm, all of the above, they want to sleep. So they'll fall asleep while they're feeding and they won't eat enough. So the trick is you take off all of the swaddle stuff, you know, just leave them in their onesies or socks, let them feed. And then after you burp them the first time, lay them down, swaddle them, and then put them back on the breast. When you do that, they've already ate enough, or at least put something in their stomach. And then now you swaddle them and they're ready to fall asleep. My daughter, if I didn't swaddle her, she would be looking me dead square in my face and never fall asleep. And I'd be like, girl, like, you need to go to bed. I need a break. And so I would swaddle her halfway through and then transition her to the bed, and she would sleep for hours. She'd be knocked out. Tip number 14, invest in some really, really good nursing bras. It's so easy. All you have to do is just unlatch. Like, I've already unlatched it, and I can just pull it down for me to be able to feed my daughter really quickly, especially when you have a newborn who is yelling at you because they're hungry and they're ready to eat. You don't have time to unlatch your bra and take off your shirt and all that stuff, you know, with you feeding your baby. So you really just get the hang of it. You just blip, and then you can feed the baby really, really quickly. Tip number 15, when the baby is crying, try your very, very, very best to stay calm. Don't get frustrated. Don't get annoyed. Don't get overwhelmed, because when you start to do that, then you start to psych yourself out and you start to overwork yourself and overwhelm yourself. And then with all of that happening, you have the baby screaming, and now you just become overwhelmed and you feel a lot more overworked or worked up than you would have had you just stayed calm and allowed yourself to breathe really quick, and just, it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be calm. And not only that, babies feed off of your energy. So if you're overworked and you're overwhelmed and all of that, then the baby's gonna do the same, and then they'll continue crying, and they'll cry even more than what they cried before. So just stay really, really calm, and, you know, be positive, be, you know, relaxed, and it's gonna be better. And not only that, in that time that you're relaxed and calm, you can pay attention to the signs and the cues that your baby is giving you. I can kind of figure out now, in this first month, I can figure out why my baby is crying a lot easier because I stay calm in the moment. You know, she has a different cry for each time that she cries. And so if she needs to be changed, I can figure that out a lot easier, a lot faster if I'm calm and I'm not overworked. Because babies normally like as newborns, babies cry for one of three things. Either they're hungry, they're sleepy, or they need to be changed. And if you are so worked up that you can't figure out what it is that they need from you, then you can't figure out those small little details really quickly, and it'll cause you to prolong the whole process of you you know, being able to figure out what it is that your child needs from you. So just stay calm, relax. Woosah, it's gonna be okay. Tip number 16, newborns are loud sleepers, okay? My daughter, just be prepared. They are loud. They be grunting. She started doing that at the like 1 month mark. She grunts like crazy. She be making all these sound effects, and I'd be like, girl, I'm trying to sleep too, like be quiet. But they are very loud. It is normal. They are trying to figure out how to process their poop and try to get gas out of their stomach. So it's okay. They are loud. It's normal. Don't be alarmed. Newborns are just loud sleepers. Number 17, okay, use a baby tracker. I was talking about this earlier with tracking your which side of the breast that you breastfed on, but that baby tracker also helps you to track when they poop, how many times they poop, when they eat, when they sleep, when they drink, all of the above. And so when I use that baby tracker, even though newborns don't really have a schedule, the baby tracker allowed me to figure out what her routine was. Plug those things into the baby tracker and pay attention to what it is that your child needs in that tracker for the first month, so that eventually you can kind of figure out what the system is and what your baby needs a lot quicker just by using that baby tracker. Tip number 18, don't let anybody tell you you're holding your baby too much. You're not. Like, babies they're not spoiled. Just hold your baby, okay? Tip number 19, this is huge for me. If you have things that you want to do with your child that is different from the traditional way that your family or your friends or your village has done, do not let anybody convince you or give you hassle about the things that you want to do with your child. Stick to your guns. It is going to be the hardest, probably one of the hardest things that you do. Stick to your guns. When I gave birth to my daughter, I went about it the most non-traditional way for my family. Everybody in my family has given birth in the hospital. Our families are very traditional on, like, you know, Caribbeans. Oh, we did this, and you know, back in the day, we gave the baby this, we did this, we added this to their milk, all of the above. And I just knew that there were certain things that I didn't want to do with my daughter, and I wanted to stay away from. But because my village and the people around me were so used to doing it, or they had did it in their childhood, they'd be like, oh, well, we did it in our childhood, it's fine, they'll be okay. And while that is completely, you know, true, we all did turn out right, or we all did turn out fine. I just didn't want to do certain things. I didn't want to do those things with my daughter. And so people would suggest things, and I would be like, no, I don't want to do that. Or they would say, oh, you need to do this in order to this. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to do it. And I got a lot of backlash about it. Taisha doesn't want to do this. Oh, Taisha's not listening. Taisha doesn't want to get any suggestions. And it wasn't that I didn't want to take suggestions, or it wasn't that I didn't want to take advice. I just didn't want to do things the way that you did things with your child. You had the opportunity to raise your child how you wanted to raise your child. Let me do the things that I need to do, or how I want to do them with my child. Don't force me into doing things that I don't want to do with my child. If I want to do things a different way, let me do them a different way and figure it out. But you're gonna get backlash. You're gonna get challenged. You're gonna get people that continuously suggest to do things. Like, I wanted to breastfeed my daughter, and I knew that I wanted to breastfeed my daughter from hands down. But my daughter was born 5 pounds 1 ounce, and so everybody, because she was small, everybody was like, you need to give her formula. You need to give her formula. You need to put cereal in her milk. You need to give her formula. She's spitting up. Put cereal in so it's thicker. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. The doctor says she's fine. She's fine. She's latching now. She's eating as much as she needs to eat. I'm not giving her formula. I'm not putting cereal in her milk. And, you know, I got a lot of slack for it. But I held my ground. And now the people around me, you know, they respect my decisions, and they let me do my thing however I want to. It took some time. But eventually they came around, and they respected what it was that I wanted for my daughter. And now they just know Taisha's going to be breastfeeding her baby. And if we're out, they're not suggesting formula. They know that I have bottles prepared for her when we're going out, and she's going to be drinking breast milk. And that's it, you know. But stick to your guns. Stick to what it is that you want. Don't let anybody sway you or change your mind. If you want something for your child, if you want to do something a certain way, stick to that and do it that way. Tip number 20, or thing to look out for, just to know, baby acne is normal. Okay, I hated baby acne. She still has it to this day. They said it'll go away at like 3 months or so, but baby acne is normal. My baby has pimples all on her face. It sucks because it's ugly. I hate pimples, but she'll be all right. Baby skin is very sensitive, and so she's just going to react to those things that are on this earth. She came out of the womb that was pure and had no toxins in the air and stuff like that. And so her body is just getting used to, you know, the outside world. So she's going to have baby acne, but it's normal. Okay? It's normal. It'll go away. Don't mess with them. Don't try to put nothing on their skin. Don't try to take it away. Don't try to add this, because it's only going to make it worse. Just let it be. Baby acne is normal, and it will go away. Tip number 21, try to drink a bottle of water every single time that you feed. When you're breastfeeding, it's literally like water is coming out of you. You are giving all of your nutrients, all of your hydration to your baby. So you need to add that back into your system. So drink a bottle of water. Tip number 22, this is a big one for sleeping. Contrary to popular belief, I think that you should put your baby to bed later in the night than putting them to bed early. Especially if you're trying to sleep, right? So hear me out. One day, we got home like super late. We went to a family member's house and we got home super late. And like we got home at 12, started to settle down at like 12:30. By 1 o'clock, she was out, right? When I put her to bed at 1 o'clock, she did not wake up for like 4 hours. And then we breastfed and she was so tired that she ate and went right back to sleep. And then she didn't wake up again. Like normally my daughter wakes up at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock, right? That's normally like her schedule for when she wakes up and stuff in the middle of the night. This night she went to bed at 1 o'clock. She didn't wake up. She slept for 4 hours, didn't wake up till 5, and then the next morning she woke up at 9. So I was able to sleep in a little bit and, you know, get my rest in, not be tired, not be exhausted, and just get a little extra sleep in. So, and I've done it a couple of times where we'll go to bed later than usual and baby girl is asleep for hours. Okay. So I would suggest, if you can, putting your baby to bed later in the night than putting them to bed earlier, because if you put her to bed, when I put her to bed earlier, she wakes up at like, if I put her to bed at 8, she'll wake up at 10, she'll wake up at 1, then she'll wake up at 4, and then she'll wake up at 7. So I'm waking up 4 times at the night. When I put her to bed later, she just wakes up 1 time and I'm sleeping through the night. So to each his own, but I found that it worked. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Have you tried that before? Have you ever done that before where you put your baby to bed later and they ended up sleeping? Try it. Tip number 23, do not adjust the noise level in your house for your baby when they are sleeping. When you adjust the noise level, the baby gets used to sleeping with nothing on or no noise whatsoever. So when noise actually happens, they get startled and then they wake up. I just keep talking. I talk however I want to, as loud as I want to. And I allow her to get accustomed to the noise level at it being at its regular. Like when my mom comes in, she's talking, nobody has to whisper around the baby, because if you do that, you train them to fall asleep with whispering sounds or no sounds at all. And then they end up waking up at the drop of a dime. Tip number 24 that I had to learn, size 0 to 3 is not the same as newborn. Tip number 25, speak up. Speak up, speak up, speak up when you want to be heard. You have to speak up for the things that you want, and you have to speak up when somebody does something or when you're not in agreement with something happening, and speak up when it happens so that your feelings and your emotions don't go unheard and you become frustrated. Speak up. Speak up for the things that you want. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for your child. Added bonus, enjoy this moment, enjoy this time. I can't believe it's already been a month. I can't believe that my daughter she's growing and doing amazing things already in this month. And I'm like considering already having another one. I don't want her to grow up. I'm not even munchkin. But enjoy this time, enjoy the moments that you have right now. Seize every opportunity to spend with your child and to watch them grow and develop and, hit the milestones and stuff like that. And although this journey is challenging, although this journey is, a little overwhelming, although it is, you got this. You will be all right. You're gonna be an amazing mom. You are going to have an amazing experience with your child that you're bringing into this world. And it's only going to get better each and every day that you have your child on this earth. So just enjoy the moment, speak positivity, say at least one positive thing every single day. And just remind yourself that you are superwoman. Like, you birthed a child. In whatever way that you birthed them, you birthed a child. So congratulations to you. And I hope that you have so much success in this journey as a new mom. I'm wishing you nothing but happiness and joy. And again, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And just show your girl some love. Leave comments down in the comment section. Thank you so much. Any products that I do mention in this video, I'll go ahead and leave them down in the description box so that you can find them for yourself. Okay, thank you so much for kicking it with me, and until next time, thanks for kicking it with Ty. Bye.